Hello, welcome. I'm Jon Binnie, your spiritual psychic mentor here in Scotland. Welcome to my predictions video. And today we have a theme, amongst others, about how to enter and maintain yourself in your highest timeline. A timeline, a reality where you receive the infinite love and abundance, all of what is due for you, and so much more. So let us get started. First of all, happy January 10th. I had to look at my clock there, my date, and it's getting cold here in Scotland. We've got a little bit of ice and a little bit of snow and some storms right down at the south. And wishing everyone across the world at this time, whichever hemisphere of the world it is that you're in and watching from this, sending you all so much love and wishing you a beautiful 2026 and our upcoming solstice, and also the shedding of the skin of the wood snake that we're leaving behind us into February, and then also into the fire horse. I don't know if I can do a good horse impression. It would... Now, as soon as I say these things, maybe it's whenever I mention an animal, I just feel compelled to do an impression. It's like a compulsion. But I won't do that. Nay! Okay. So, okay, Jon. Let's go through creating a safe space. And just before I do, I wanted to share this really interesting comment. Shout out to my son, who's 16, and he made this fabulous comment yesterday. So we're in a restaurant yesterday lunchtime, and there was just above our table. So I could see this big TV, but my wife and son couldn't. So it was behind them. And my son was asking, "Oh, what's on the TV?" And I said, "Oh, it's like the mainstream media news." And he glanced up, he kind of twisted his head around and looked up, and it was like all the chaos and destructions and threats of war and all the horrible things that are going on around the world. And my son said, he said, "There is no way that news program is long enough to include all of the pain and misery and destruction and chaos that's going on around the world." And I must admit that, and I laughed. I was like, it's so true. The fear propagation through news, mainstream, and also into social media is so powerful, and so it's always so focused. It's like, be scared of this thing, now be scared of this thing, now be scared of this thing, now be scared of all these things. And my son's point was that the real truth, right? We know this, right? We feel this in the collective energy. The real truth is that there's just an infinite amount of fear in the world, because you can be fearful of anything, right? You can be scared of yourself. Like, you can look in the mirror and go, "Ah, it's Jon," or insert your name. So, yeah, I really love that. And we had a little bit of a chat about, wouldn't it be so lovely to have news about the good stuff too, right? Because it's not the fear and the bad things that are happening in the world that are going to help transform the world. Awareness is one thing, right? We can't deny these things are happening. And equally, once we get past the kind of identification and observation stage of learning about fear, then it's time to be able to take action, right? To start to see, to feel, to thank, to forgive, to learn from, to release, and then to love, right? To shift and transmute what we experience around us into love. Okay. And hopefully this program, this episode, these videos are helpful towards your daily diet, your weekly diet of content that you consume that is more of a positive nature. And on that note, If you ever see adverts on my channel that you don't agree with, please let me know in the comments, because I do have a little bit of control over some of the adverts that are shown. So I had some feedback from you recently. That was great. I went through some of the settings. YouTube gives you some basic settings and even some website address options, so I can like block adverts that contain specific websites. So, well, that's what it says I can do, right? So if that happens, it's not going to affect all of YouTube, right? It's going to affect you when you view my content. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a safe space and get into what's coming up for us through the upcoming days, weeks, months in 2026 and beyond, and also how to step up and maintain yourself in your highest timeline for as long as you can. Okay, so please join me as we take a deep breath in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out what no longer serves our highest good, nice and loud. Breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any fear, shame, anxiety, or pain, nice and loud. And breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any remaining low vibration energy or emotion that no longer serves you, nice and loud. And continue to breathe deeply and calmly as it feels right for you. And focus your attention now on the very center of your heart, where your golden divine spark of your soul enters your human form. And from the center of your heart, extend a cord of light up through the top of your head and reach up into the sky and up into the stars. Reach all the way up to the highest frequencies and dimensions of this universe until you reach the highest dimension of the source of love of this universe. And there, connecting your light cord into the highest dimension of source. Feeling into that oneness, unity, and unconditional love. Remain connected into source and extend your light cord down to the stars and sky, back down to the top of your head and into your heart once more. And now this time, from the center of your heart, as you allow your heart to soften and open and relax, extend a cord of light downwards, down through the base of your spine and deep into the earth. Reach all the way down through the layers of the planet, going deeper and deeper until you reach the very core of Mother Earth. And there, connecting your light cord into Mother Gaia's crystalline heart. And we send Mother Gaia so much love at this time. Allow her to send her love back. Remain connected to Gaia's heart and extend your light cord back up through the layers of the planet, up through the root of your spine and into your heart once more. And now, together with light of source above, Mother Gaia below, and your own light, from the center of your heart, expand out to golden bubble of protective light to surround you, about 2 meters out to each side, above and below, in front and behind you, and set the intention that only energies and entities with your permission, your highest good love and compassion can see you, access you, or exist within this space or within you, and that all other energies and entities must leave immediately. Into your safe space, invite in your spirit guides, your higher self, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source, and Gaia. And ask at this time for their guidance, clearing, healing, protection, and assistance with the integration of today's session. And now, please encourage your heart to open. Heart, it's safe to open. Heart, it's safe to open. Heart, it's safe to open. And allow yourself to be reminded of that big, beautiful, protected bubble you've just created around yourself. A strong boundary within which you can be soft and open and all gooey inside and connect with all aspects and all emotions of you. And now, through space and time, I create a golden bubble of protective light to surround all of us who choose to engage with today's video. And I set the intention that only energies and entities with the highest good, love, and compassion of all can see us, access us, or exist in this session space or within us, all other energies and entities must leave immediately. Into the safe space, I invite in my spirit guides, my higher self, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Metatron, Source and Gaia, Sol and Luna, and also the trusted members of the Galactic Federation that I work with on a regular basis, setting the intention that we are here today to provide messages to help support everyone that engages with today's video to be able to enter and maintain their highest timeline, a reality of their highest good, abundance and love, equality, compassion, and also to receive messages for all of those engaging with this video, no matter when you engage with it, that will support you through the coming days, weeks, months, 2026 and beyond. And with this, I would like us to get started. Thank you so much. And first, a little bit of coffee while I go on mute. I was receiving some beautiful visuals. So if I remember, I'll put the last video I did in this series, in my prediction series, which was all about entering unity. So there were two different thumbnails that I was using for advertising that video, and the Humanity Enters Unity thumbnail won by 57% to 43%. doing simple math in my head, which was a fear-based one with a picture of a woman, and she was all tense and fearful. Isn't that lovely that, you know, it's a beautiful sign that light, that love has won. And I even heard from some of you that you wouldn't click, or you were hesitant to click, or maybe hesitant but then did click on the video with the thumbnail that was fearful. And I love that so much. I love that you let love guide you. So I'm not sure if I'll be doing that A/B experiment again, but it's really interesting. Now that video is just called, so the title and the thumbnail are Humanity Enters Unity. If I remember, towards the end of this video, I'll add a link to it. If not, just go to the playlist. I always include the playlist of these videos, which is the predictions videos, lightly up here towards the very end. Go back to that video and please do practice unity. It was such a wonderful experience to connect our hearts to each other. And I'd encourage you, in the event that we don't do it today, I'd encourage you to explore that. For many of us, it's the first time we've done it. And it's also practice I was taught by members of the Galactic Federation, hundreds of them, seeing them beings from across the universe doing this, and me participating in joining our hearts together in unity. Okay, so let us go ahead, and I want to ask the question first about the highest timeline, because the reason I reference unity is because in the last video we spoke a lot about, there was a lot of practical work for us entering the rainbow bridge to go from third up to fourth and into fifth dimension. And this is very much aligned with today's video of entering and maintaining yourself in your highest timeline. And what I'm asking from, just because I know they're listening, from the beautiful beings I've invited into today's session, is that I'd like to it's okay for us to use these references and to use these visuals and metaphors, and they are also real. In fact, I'm sure I was seeing visions of the rainbow bridge in the sky this morning at 7 a.m. in the dark, which was so cool. But I would like us to bring it kind of home to the now, to the present now, to help us understand at a very human, practical, day-to-day grounding level, what can we do day to day to help support ourselves in entering and maintaining the highest timeline. So from my notes, I have some of them on my little laptop down below the camera here, that And this is a reminder that Q1, so January, February, March, includes increased what I'm terming as micro contact. So this is extraterrestrial contact with each of us. I definitely saw a quiet period for a couple of weeks. My skies were pretty quiet. And then things are really ramped up. And so there's a lot more moving objects in unusual ways and patterns and flashes of light and so much more. And if look out for my psychic sky watching videos, there's a playlist on the homepage of my YouTube channel. There's always about at least once every month to every 2 weeks, I put in new videos for those. And I encourage you, look to the skies, with a nice big open heart and begin that conversation, that verbal conversation, inviting in, if you choose, inviting in extraterrestrial family, your extraterrestrial family that serve your highest good. Invite them to begin that journey of the flashing lights and the moving orbs and eventually ships coming closer and bigger ships and more profound experiences. So I'd encourage that. If it feels right for you, it's no pressure, and it's not tightly coupled with your highest timeline, right? It's just it's an opening, and it's a welcoming, and it's another avenue you can explore without feeling fearful, right? So not being fearful. And then from my notes, we also had so just in 7 days' time from this recording is January the 17th, termed as an inflection point, which is the top. So from the third to fourth to fifth dimensions, there is this inflection point where we're right up at the top of the ascension wave rainbow. So these ascension waves keep flowing into us. Shout outs to Seal, who's an incredible singer I knew him from the 80s and 90s? Definitely 90s. And he was describing on an Instagram post how he was feeling. He called them waves of love, and it was lovely because I'd written a song called "On These Waves of Love We Rise" years ago, and it really resonated with that. Isn't it lovely that people are experiencing these ascension waves and describing them in their own terms, their own realities, right? And it's a feeling, right? And he didn't talk any more about that or any more spiritual, philosophical, scientific explanations for it. He just described the feeling. And some of you do ask, do we need to understand all this stuff to be able to ascend, to be able to be in our highest timeline? No, it's really simple. It's just all about the feeling. So whenever you're feeling like, oh, do I need to understand that? Or that didn't make sense to me, or, asking lots of questions about it, just take a moment to come back to your heart and ask your heart about it. What does that feel like? John or someone said about some ascension wave or a rainbow bridge or something. Just ask your heart, what feeling does that mean? Heart, can you explain it to me? My heart's responding and helping feel this really loving high vibration. So there's the inflection point on the 17th, and then 27th of January is when ascension's locking into place. And there's no turning back for ascension. However, you can come and go through different dimensions as you choose. And you may already be experiencing this. And then into Q2, so that's January, February, March. And then so Q2 is April, May, June. So April, May, June is where this kind of third dimension of 5-dimensional split is happening. And if you kind of projected the negativity, right, if you took all the woes of the mainstream media and the fear that's propagated against us, if you took all that and projected it by another 3 it would be up to another 2.5, 3 months, you can well imagine, right, that this narrative plays out into darker times for humanity. And what my spirit guide Maya is showing me, almost like it becomes its vibration, the third dimension vibration continues to drop, right? So it's a low, continued lowering of vibration. And she's showing me it's like an undercurrent, like a dark undercurrent. And then for those of us that choose to rise above that into love, that our timeline start to lift up over it. And I've been shown, I remember in December showing you my arms like this. And, this was in December around the solstice when this new highest timeline started to come up over these undercurrents of the third dimension going down. And I've been shown this a few times, and I'm just going to ask Mother Gaia and my spirit guides a bit more about this. And that is a visual I'm being shown just now of the Rainbow Bridge. So this is your choice. If you choose to ascend, you can step onto with a nice big open heart and step into the most joyful, loving, wow, my ears are really ringing, abundant, equal, and compassionate world, this new world, your highest timeline. That imagine this bridge. For the first time, I'm being shown a troll under the bridge, right? and I love that visualization. And the troll is really mouthy, right? Now, some of you might be already projecting, like, I know who that is. It's a person in my life, right? Or it's a person in the world's life. It's a world leader. I would say, what I'm seeing for that troll is, do not just limit the troll under the bridge as one person, right? Because the reality is it's many people involved in trying to encourage you to come off this bridge, right? And so Mother Gaia, and she's just coming forward, so just saying, as you become aware of the choices to step into your highest timeline, the noise of the third dimension will increase. And she says the troll under the bridge is real. To begin with, the troll will talk from under the bridge, pretending to be the voice of the bridge itself. And you know me, I'm going to do some theatrical impressions of the troll under the bridge. So as you're stepping on your first step onto the bridge, like, yay, I found my highest timeline. It's a beautiful rainbow bridge from this difficult, challenging, fearful world into a beautiful, new, wonderful, fantastical life of abundance and love. And you're just about to step onto that bridge. And all you hear from down below is, no, don't do it. Don't step on me. Don't step on the bridge. You're not good enough for that. They're going to find out about all your shame and fear. Right? Or whatever, right? So it's not the words that are important there, right? It's the feelings that then starts to trigger in you. Wow. And I'm just feeling in my body, I haven't had breakfast yet. And my body's like, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to start processing it. So there's this really important message that Gaia is coming through at this time. And I'm just going to ask if she wants to step into me, because I know you guys love that when she steps into me, is that she wants you to be aware of how much love there is for you and your fears, your shame, your shadows. It's like you can see my shadow behind me here, trying to touch my own shadow, including mine, right? That all of us have something that we hide from ourselves. It's always the next thing, right? It's the next thing that as one of you said in the comments recently, a shadow, the fear within us is just an area of us that is absent of our love. Whatever it is, you might be ashamed or be of your diet, of your body, of your job, or your lack of job, or your abundance, or your anger towards what's going on in the world, or lack of boundaries with others. It's an infinite list of things, right? And there might be secrets that you hold from yourself within your heart. And you might be thinking, hang on, Jon, I thought we were here for like the happy highest timeline experience. It's like, yes, this is the key. So this is, if you want to know how to get to this highest timeline, it's the inner work, your fear. It's also why I wear black so much. one of the reasons is it helps me feel comfortable wearing my darkness on the outside, right? Here's my darkness. I used to, for example, have such fear of lack, of abundance of money, and it was an ancestral wound, right? It had continued on through my parents' lineage, but also in parallel to that, also my own past lives, right? So, and I was scared of talking about it. Now I'm really comfortable with talking about it, right? Because I feel that it's such a huge wound across the world at this time. And it's reminding me of some of the behaviors we're seeing with silver, right? It's like even the value of money is becoming like people are worried, right? Elites and world leaders and everyone around the world has this kind of undercurrent feeling of, is money going to cut it? Like, is it going to fail, or our financial system's going to fail? Maybe. But what I do know, and I feel it in my heart, is that we will evolve through these. We will not, I wouldn't say transcend, but we will transform, we'll revolutionize. And I don't just mean into the other abstracts like Bitcoin and e-currencies. It's more like stepping into a whole new era of humanity and fundamentally changing the way that we exchange with each other. Okay, no more delays. Let me ask Mother Gaia to step into me, please, and just to explain a bit more about the process of facing our fears and entering our highest timelines and maintaining ourselves within them. Beautiful souls, children of planet Earth, welcome to these messages. For all that Jon has shared, please allow your heart to open. In your heart, as I speak to your heart now, I remind you of the unity we all have together. Whether you have chosen this or not, you are unified because your feet are upon this planet Earth, my body. You are unified because your DNA signatures, all of what makes you, is a frequency match for all humans across this world. All humans bleed red. You are all part of the same family and shared with all living things across the surface and beneath the surface of the earth. You are all one family, my family, our family. Inside of your heart, as well as that direct connection into the source of love that you have at the very center of your heart, on the outside of your heart, and in particular, as it circles around the outside of your heart and concentrates often towards the bottom of your heart, is this beautiful, dark area. This darkened, thicker, heavier area of your heart chakra. This is where many of your fears are hiding. Your fears, if left unattended, if left unloved, they will control you. They will keep you low. They will keep you in fear. Fear is addictive and will hold you in your lower timelines. These dates that you experience at this time are not a deadline. You can choose fear or love anytime. Whenever you witness fear outside of you, especially in the news, reports of violence, war, suffering, inequality, injustice, and you feel those fearful energies rise, including the anger, please do let your anger release. You can release your anger, and on behalf of humanity, roar it, breathe it out loud, just as Jon roars like a dragon. Allow yourself to release this. And for all the fears that remain, know that everything that's happening outside of you is a reflection of what's happening inside of you. And that as you face these fears within you, you fundamentally change the world around you. There is, for example, within every human at this time, to a very small or greater degree, a concern, a worry over warring with other humans, or even beings outside of the earth, your extraterrestrial families. I want you to face this fear now. Join me as one, imagining the whole world visualized in front of you and all of the hearts of the world, all of the beings showing the lights of their hearts. And imagine that we're all doing this together. Allow the light of your love and source light from the highest dimension of source above to flow down all the way through your chakras and deep into your heart. And now seek out, as you shine a searchlight, a lighthouse across the deep, dark caves, those rocks that surround the lower aspects of your body, like the rocks in a dark, stormy night, raging around the waves that crash upon them. And deep in those shadows, deep into those emotions, is a fear waiting for your love. It may be a fear of war. It may be another fear. I want you to bring your light of love to shine upon it now. And speak these words after me. Fear, I see you. Fear, I feel you. Fear, I'm sorry you have to exist. Fear, I love you. Fear, I forgive you. Fear, I thank you. Fear, I learn from you. Please share your lessons for me to learn. What is it I need to learn at this time from you? Teach me. And finally, fear, I release you. And just allow the fear energy to be released. Anything that your body cannot process to be returned to source or never return here again. Or from your heart, for any of your own fear, your own, purely your own emotions, release these downwards through your solar plexus, sacral chakra, root chakra, and deep into the earth, all the way down through the layers of the planet, beneath the crust, into the fiery magma of earth, to be transmuted, to be processed, to become the fertilizer and food for other beings and other life on earth. This is the troll beneath the rainbow bridge, your fear. Every time you hear the voice of this troll beneath the bridge, it is the voice of your fear speaking to you. Even beings outside of you that choose to control you, they do not have control over you if you do not have fear within you, or you have greatly diminished fear. So whenever you hear fear propagated against you, I encourage you to come back to your heart and to see that fear that's pushed against you through the eyes and the feeling and your heart of love. And the very first thought and the very first words that come to your lips and to your mind, let them be, I love you. Let there be love. Let there be world peace. Let there be new paradigms and new ways and new levels of justice, yes, and also forgiveness of ourselves, and love and compassion. Allow ourselves to open up to receive each other fully, all humanity, all living things across the earth. Please remember, as we join ourselves at this time, as we all speak as one humanity, we speak to the troll beneath the rainbow bridge, and we say, I see you, I feel you, I love you, I'm sorry you have to exist. I thank you. I release you. I learn from you. So the next time you're feeling like you're being told not to step onto the bridge, or you're on that highest timeline, you're feeling good, you're feeling joyful, just allow yourself to be interrupted sometimes by the troll, for it will happen, and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. And Mother Gaia is just coming out of me. Thank you, Mother Gaia. Wow, some coffee. And I also had a really interesting experience this week, which was the denial of fear. It is my personal belief that we all feel at least some fear or fear-based emotions, and that it's important to face these fears. Just as I used to fear lack so much, and now, May 2024, I left a multi-six-figure salary job at Amazon and started my own business doing this. I'm now full-time spiritual psychic mentor. And I'd only made 300 Great British pounds in a year doing this work before I left that huge salary. It's like from this to like this. And my soul was pulling me. My soul's like, Jon, you've got to do it. You got to go across the Rainbow Bridge. And I was fighting daily with that troll, right? And under the Rainbow Bridge, I was like, it was like, you're going to be living, it literally kept saying to me, you're going to live under a bridge. Right. Literally, that's what I thought, that I was going to end up having to live under a bridge. And bridges aren't very big. Most of them aren't very big here in Scotland, and cold, right? And in a cardboard box with my family huddled around me, and they wouldn't be very happy about it or would have left me. And it just saying that out loud sounds so crazy now. And you might be thinking, oh, Jon had all this figured out. It's like, I did not have any of this figured out, right? This is what your love demands of you, is to face those fears, and often in great leaps of faith in yourself, and also saying yes to opportunities. And there were so many opportunities that came up for me when I was ready to receive them. And one of them, for example, just before I left my corporate job, there was restructuring going on. And although there was no mention of redundancies, I asked, could I get made redundant? And could I volunteer for it? And the short answer was eventually yes. And I was made redundant. I was like, woohoo, this is great news. So that was being, in the UK, that means being paid to leave. So that was fantastic. And so my spirit guide Maya is just saying, be open in your highest timeline, be open to saying yes in ways that you've never experienced before. And so we're used to, often with fear, we kind of seem to pull ourselves into a very mental kind of logic. If that person, that world leader does that thing, then this is going to happen, then this is going to happen, right? And we almost rob that reality, that low vibration timeline, war after war after war after war. We rob that timeline of any miracle or magic, any kind of divine intervention, right? And so as soon as you inject even just a little bit into that, even if you just say to yourself, maybe some people will just decide that they've had enough of war. Maybe it'll be war. Hang on. Aren't we done with this? Why are we warring with each other? Why are we hurting each other? We're all one. We're all one big family. And in your highest timeline, it's even more expansive, right? So, and I had some personal news this week, which was, and I'm still integrating it. I'm not really talking about it publicly yet. You know me. I'll talk about everything publicly when it's the right time. But I was given an opportunity this week to say yes to something that blows my mind. And I just feel my heart opening up to this opportunity, right? It again, a bit like me leaving my corporate job, it might seem logical on the outside. On the inside, to me, what happened to me this week made no sense, right? To me, prior to Monday, it made no sense. During Monday, it's like, wow, okay, that's really big news for me. And then this like big opening up of my heart. And my heart just keeps saying, whenever I ask my heart about it, yes, Jon, say yes. Say unconditionally yes. It's the highest timeline. It's your rainbow bridge. It's a yes. And, and some of those fears within me include connections like doing this working so hard, like doing lots of things all the time, right? Keeping myself busy, the productivity that we ingrain in ourselves in this Western culture of like, I work, therefore I am. Oh my God, that's awful. I'm productive, therefore I am. You can do things in your life, right? But actually, a huge lesson I've learned is it's all about receiving. My heart feels, every time I wave my hands like this, my heart's opening and opening. So please remember this. You're gonna receive for every time you face a shadow and fear, and often it's instant, right? It's like really fast. Because I'd spent 2 weeks resting, like initially forcing myself to rest, and then getting kind of addicted to it over the festive period. And then there's reward, bam, soon as like I'm back, first day back on at work this year, and it's like, okay, Jon, here's a massive opportunity for you that'll totally change the rest of your life. And I was like, oh wow, that's big. So there's this feeling of I can't describe this in any other human terms as being receiving miracles, receiving completely unexpected gifts from the universe that you could not comprehend, existing things that exist in your life, that you're aware of. Maybe you've got some money in your bank account. Maybe you've got a lottery ticket. Maybe so you've got some indication of like the kind of seed of it, and then suddenly it explodes in abundance, and you're given a choice. And it's one, what I love is, my spirit guide Maya is like drawing me to this. This is such beautiful wisdom. Thank you, Maya. She's saying, look for one of the telltale signs of fear is that you have the feeling of no choice, right? That is, in a free will universe, right? A free will universe, that is a red flag. It's like, it's like danger. Well, Robinson is like, if something is pushed against you, if you're feeling drawn into something without your consent, it is much more likely to be fear-based, right? The opposite is true for opportunities that come to you because they ask you these higher vibration opportunities, these manifestations, your highest timeline will come to you and it will invite your permission. You'll always have to do something to say yes. Sometimes you might be signing on a dotted line. Sometimes you might be verbally saying yes to the universe. You might be telling someone else, yes, I commit to this. You might be saying it publicly on a YouTube video. Like whatever pulls you into that feeling, and always ask your heart, check in with your heart, place your hand on your heart. Is this for my highest good? Is this for my highest good? Okay. Other top tips for staying on your highest timeline is something like a daily meditation practice. You'll see towards the end here, you'll see the link to my website, the Get Started with Jon link, or go directly to the meditations page and try my free 14-day Spirit Guide Meditations Challenge. Also, the 5D Ascension classes fall on from that. They're 1-hour classes, also free. They run live on YouTube every week, and there'll be one coming up in a few days' time on Tuesday this week. They're fantastic. They'll take you all the way from mindfulness meditation, if you've never meditated before, all the way through to speaking light language and channeling light language from your spirit guides. They are vast and huge, and I'll just let you explore those. So these are all great at keeping you on your highest timeline, because you're starting to invest in, what in that moment that the troll, you've just stepped onto your rainbow bridge, right? It's like, stepped into my rainbow bridge, and you hear the troll saying, "Oh, I see you're on the rainbow bridge. You think you're worthy, do you? Oh, what about that money? What about that bill? What about that war?" Whatever it's saying to you, the biggest act of defiance, right, is like, "Screw you," and other expletive words I won't repeat here, to the troll, right? Stop what you're doing, sit down and meditate, right? And it reminds me of these, beautiful, peaceful marches that are going on. It's like when you present me with fear, like, do the opposite, right? Imagine literally, a friend phones you or your neighbor knocks on your door and says, "There's war," right? And your immediate reaction was like, panic, right? What if instead of that, you sat down and you meditated for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, and it's not long, right? So I do recommend that practice, and there's so many different ways of meditating. I even did a video in the 5D Ascension classes of exploring so many different ways of meditating. Walking in nature, that's also awesome, regardless of if you're trying to meditate or not. So walks in nature, following your joy, spending time with your loved ones, time in your joy and passion, your hobbies, the things that you love doing and that fuel your heart with love. Essentially, the more minutes, the more points you can get in joy and love and happiness and gratitude and unity and authenticity and all these high vibration emotions, the more time you're in those, the less you're down here, down under the bridge with me. Come down here, it's horrible. You'll love it or you'll hate it. And the reason I say all this is because this is always a choice. And I know as a fellow human, it doesn't always feel like we have a choice over our emotions. I can also guarantee you that if you start to do that work on those emotions, every emotion is a teacher. There's a lesson, especially in the deep, dark fears and shadows within you. Okay. And perhaps we'd just like to spend a minute before I go into your questions. We'd like to spend a minute. I'm not sure what Patch is doing in the corner of the room. He's getting a bit bored. He has got some snacks to eat though. Do you want to eat your snacks, Patch? I thought we'd just spend a moment and send love to all the hearts. So every living thing in the world at this time that's living in fear and that would accept our unconditional love, to help them bring them back more to love and to come out of their fear a bit more. So just setting the intention, imagining all hearts of all living things, and everything is living, from the rocks and plants and trees and birds and insects to the humans, to everything that's in the sky, the planet Earth herself, every aspect of this earth. And we set the intention for all of those beings, all the living things of this earth, that choose to accept and consent to receiving our love. We bring down the source of love from the highest dimension of source above in a beautiful column of golden light down through the top of our heads and into our hearts. And we shine this beautiful source love energy out from our hearts and hands to all those living things around the world, creating a beautiful light web, shining light on fear, sending in our unconditional love. I love you. I love you. I love you. May all those that choose to receive this love feel it. Beautiful. Thank you. And then just for that source love energy you brought into your heart, just allow it to go down deep through the base of your spine and deep into the earth. So it's anchored in nicely. Wonderful. And you may have, just like I did, received some love at that time. So thank you for sending me love as well. Beautiful. So let's go on to some of your questions. And just before I do, my spirit guide, Marita, who's a member of the Galactic Federation, wanted to give a message, which is that, and I always do this when I introduce Marita as a Mantis guide. She wanted to share that there are you describe it as like the fake alien invasion, or the other way of describing this, the energy of that is extraterrestrial contact with fearful undertones, or like a fearful message. It's kind of like it's in the consciousness of some of the world leaders right now. Now it's been around for decades, right? They've been cooking up all kinds of crazy plans, and it's like it's their free will, right? Any human can say, I'm in contact with ETs, right? Just like you and I can. It's just that when that happens, place your hand on your heart. And I'm not like, Marita's not saying to me it's a specific date, right? And she's also not saying that that our disclosure will happen through them, through others. And I love always experiencing things for myself. You may know me as being fiercely autonomous and independent. So there's this feeling of, if there's such announcements, she says, just like we've heard with this practice of bringing in love into every one of these kind of fear programs against us, the troll's voice saying, oh, there's aliens and you should be scared of them. Any of that kind of energy, just saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then allowing yourself to feel into it. Ask your heart, how does this feel to me? Does this person have my highest good at heart? Do the extraterrestrials they refer, are they real? Like, yes, as a high vibration, happy emotion, or no, as a sinking feeling? And so just allow yourself to feel into this and use your judgment and discernment. Because it's the way Marita's showing it is there's like the kind of planned out actions that are already kind of set in stone and are happening in some world leaders' minds and plans. And then there's others, like a layer below that of the maybes. And that's what the ET, a kind of fear-based ET contact or disclosure idea is currently sitting there. So it's moved up from background list of all kinds of things that we could propagate around the world. It's moved up in the agenda, potential agenda. Okay, thank you. And she said, and it's one more reason, she's doing this with her hands. She's saying it's one more reason why you should all look to the skies, because, it's a bit like we'll have, I've a beautiful little papillon patch down here, sleeping on the floor now. And, when you build a relationship with a non-human being, right? When you build that heart-to-heart connection, it wouldn't matter if someone like knocked on my door and said, your pet is like, you should be scared of your pet, right? And I'm like, why? I'm like, I know I can't speak to him in like English, and his hearing's not great, but I love him and he loves me. And there's that feeling as well with the purpose of microcontact, right? It's almost like when we look to the stars and we talk to the stars and we talk to the planets and we talk to our extraterrestrial family that have our highest good in our hearts, we open up our hearts and we create these point-to-point connections. And so we're building that relationship. So when the troll comes along and says, oh, but you should be scared of them, you're saying, oh, hang on, I've built a multi-day, week, month, multi-year, multi-decade relationship with these beings. And my heart says they feel good, right? And I trust my heart, especially when I have clear intention that those beings, I only communicate with beings that have my highest good at heart. It's all starting to make sense to me. I hope it does to you as well. Wow. Okay, so let's go on to some of your questions. Thank you so much for your questions. You post the questions in the there's a little link in the comments and in the description of the video. So let's take a look at the first question. I will randomly select one, making some beep bop noises. Beep bop beep bop beep bop beep bop beep. Okay, let's see. Ooh. Just trying to get my laptop to work. Yep. So it's Sarah S. Thank you, Sarah S. How will our chakras evolve in 5D? Oh, what a great question. I have some awareness of how, well, knowledge, maybe even wisdom about how this happens, Sarah S. And we can ask some experts. So let me ask. Just opening up this question to all the beings that I've invited in this session. So my spirit guide, Emin Chal, he's a Lyran, has stepped forwards and he's stood in front of me. Wow, he's showing me his heart. And his heart, this big, green, beautiful heart chakra is opened up wide. So this is the first thing he's saying is that your heart, your chakras need to open. So if you're not familiar with this, if you're new to me describing this, a fearful heart is like this, closed. Lightly, you're more likely to experience and limit your emotions to fear, anxiety, pain, suffering, and a bit like if you're feeling under threat, you're in a fight or flight mode, you can't really think straight, you can't create very well. You're just in that moment, right? It's fight or flight. And so the opposite is true. So imagine that's a low vibration timeline. That's down with the troll under the bridge. I want to make your heart chakra shrink nice and closed so I can control you type energy. This is the opposite of that. It's like this, it's this opening up of your heart. And it's the very first thing is with the example of the heart chakra and how it'll work in 5D in the highest timeline. There's this beautiful heart opening, so nice and open. And then Emin Chal's doing this. He's got one of his claws, and he's like drawing a circle around the outside of his heart chakra, and he's showing this. I would describe it as quantum electricity. It's like a quantum energy, and by quantum I mean it's like flowing through space and time. Like there's no limitation to it, and it's all around the outside. And he's saying to me, he says, "Heart chakra activated. Heart chakra activated." So it's reaching the full potential of your heart. Oh, right. And he's showing me something new as well. Okay, this is new to me. And then he's showing this kind of like, almost like vibrating. So heart chakra. I see chakras as spheres in my third eye. And what my spirit guide, Emin Chal Lyran, is showing me is his heart like shaking like this. And I know he's giving me glimpses of what's about to happen. Then there's bursting of rainbow color, like rainbows just bursting out of the chakra. And it feels a little bit like some sort of Care Bear from the 80s, like explosion, but it's in all directions. And he's saying heart chakra activated. And it's a rainbow heart activation. And the feeling he's showing me glimpses of this as much as my heart's willing to accept. And it feels a bit like, I don't know, it's like, it's a bit overwhelming. It's okay, I can take more, Emin Chal. It's so beautiful. It is, imagine feelings that you may have if every single being in your life that you knew came to you one after the other and told you the best possible outcome of everything. So your loved ones come to you and say, "I love you." And then if you work for a company or if you have a boss or you're working for yourself, just like the best possible thing, you've been promoted, you're now running the company or you're now running your own company and the most amazing things have happened. And it's like one after the other, it's like bam, bam, bam. And imagine it's a long, long line of nothing but good news. And it's just, every time it happens, you're like, you're just crying happy tears. You're like, I can't believe that's happening to me. That's so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And you're just allowing your heart to soften and open. Wow. And yeah, it's a journey for every single chakra to do this as well. Each of us, yeah, Emin Shell says, each of us experience this in different orders as well. By the way, this is all possible in the third dimension, or should I say the activation process starting is possible in the third dimension, knowing that as you open your heart, as you activate your heart, you're floating up. You're like a hot air balloon. You're rising up over that rainbow bridge. So very naturally, you end up in a different vibration. Okay, let's choose one more. Beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop beep. And some actual echo this time. So this one is real lovely. I just clicked on the word light angels, and that's part of this request. This question from Carol Lindquist, 1270. Hello, Carol. Thank you so much. And Carol says, I know Archangel Michael helps with healing, as I always think he's a warrior angel too. I've asked him to gather all the light angels to blind the darkness within the powers that run the US now. Can he also do this work? Or is he/they willing to do this for us? Very interesting. What a great question. Well, we have him here, right? And I do encourage, if you believe in archangels, for example, we don't all need to, just like we don't all need to believe in spirit guides, right? Whenever there's a being outside of you, I'd encourage you to build a direct one-to-one relationship to them. And I say this not just for Carol. I say this because, like if you believe in God or your God, whatever name they have, or source, building a relationship with them, like a personal one-to-one relationship, is so much more powerful because it means that your heart becomes aligned and connected to them. So much more than someone else saying, so for example, if I said to you, Carol, oh, no, he doesn't do any healing, right? You'd be like, oh, that's not what it feels like to me, right? And it's good, right? It's good for you to build those one-to-one connections. So I kind of also preface what I'm about to say, because remember, this is kind of like, you're asking a question of me, I'm going off and asking Archangel Michael, he's speaking through me back to you. So a lot of it's through my own perception and interpretation, and just encourage you to discern it yourself. Okay, so let me ask this question. So Archangel Michael's just coming forwards, and he's saying, do you want me to channel through you? I said, I don't think so. I think I'm done doing direct channeling today, but I can relay your messages, that form of channeling. So Archangel Michael says, I am your free will. I am the warrior of your free will. And he says, Carol. So he wants to make it specific to you, Carol. When you ask me to do something, I am limited only by your free will. When you ask me to do something on your behalf, you are giving your sword to me. There are some things that I won't do. And I just want to be clear, this is still Archangel Michael talking. And he's kind of creeping in to channel through me. And I'm like, no, let's just relay. And he says, there's some things he won't do. And that is, he won't compromise the free will of others. And if you remember, so just interjecting a little bit, if you remember what we were talking about earlier, that troll, if you like. So if we were, if you imagined the troll being within the powers that run the US right now, the troll is not external to us. The troll is part of us. So we have to look inside of us to solve the problems of what's happening outside of us. And this is why Archangel Michael's job's so cool, right? Is that he constantly reminds me, he reminds us to come back and look deep within us. Okay. And let me just ask, I'm going to want to go more to the specifics about healing and the blinding the darkness within the powers that run the US. Let me just ask him. He says, every soul has its own free will. And he says, when a being breaches your free will, Carol, he says, then I can act. He says, I'm not here to judge. And I'm not here to do your bidding. I am here to be the extension of your sword and to take your sword when you give it to me. And he wants to give some examples. For example, to break contracts, policies, laws, or agreements that were forced upon you, or you had no conscious or subconscious free will awareness of, or you actively reject. And he's holding his arms out like this, and his wings just raised up as he said, actively reject. So he says, this is one of the kind of big mental shifts for humanity, which is we all, because of the nature of free will, right? We all get to choose to change our minds whenever we want, right? You can say, I signed a contract. Yeah, I agreed to something previously. I don't agree to it now. I changed my mind. That's what free will is, right? It's not like the free will of this universe is not somehow locked in for life just because you made a specific decision. So that's a really empowering statement. So this could include who you voted for, the country you were born into, the laws that you're becoming aware of, the activity, the chemtrails you see in the sky, the inequalities that you see happening, the injustice you see happening. Archangel Michael says, when you say, Carol, I do not agree to this. I do not consent to this. This is it's like a boundary you're setting. It's your statement. It's your stance of your free will. And I just feel like there's still a little bit to close off here about how can you best help us, Archangel Michael, with Carol's request? Can you intervene with people? And what happens if, I, for example, say something about my own government that I don't agree with? Will you act on my behalf? And he says, yes, he can only act within the scope of my free will. I'm just asking for an example. Okay, yeah, he wants to show the chemtrails, for example. So he says, and in the UK, they actually passed a law, right, to allow these chemtrails. Oh, they're not real for decades. And then eventually, oh yeah, but by the way, they are real and there's a law about it now. I never consented to that, right? And so now when I see them in the sky, I look at them because I know the laws of the universe, right? I'm not so au fait with the UK laws, but I look at the laws of the universe and I look at what's happening above me and say, this is my planet, this is my home, this is my town, this is my sky that I share with all the other living things here. We all own this together. And you, the minority that have come in and decided to inject part of my reality with something I do not consent to, well, I'm going to tell you, I don't consent to it. And the other day, there was actually a video I was, and some photos I was doing, was it just a couple of weeks ago, and there was loads across the sky. And I just stood and I stopped there and I said, I just placed my hand on my heart. It's the other way around, left hand on heart, right hand up facing the chemtrails. And I just said, I do not give you permission. And it wasn't like some massive act of defiance, right? It's just a fact. It's like, I don't give you permission. I did not consent to this. And then I imagine from my heart sending out this beautiful love energy and blasting it up out into the sky. And I set the intention just to push the chemtrails from my home and my hometown out to planet Earth, out into the atmosphere, any toxins to release out of Earth and out into space. And I know logically that eventually these chemtrails do like dissolve, and some of them seem to be designed for that, like spreading, and others like more visible and stick together. But this one did shift in just a few minutes. And that felt really good. And so that Archangel Michael says that's a moment, for example, you could ask for his help. You're maybe not sure how to clear a chemtrail, but you can say, I did not accept, this is not my free will. Okay. And he says it's really important that Archangel Michael's not here to judge, right? So just because we judge another human as being low vibration or bad or negative or doing things negatively to others, they still have their own free will. They still have their own rights, universal right to free will. Just because they're lower vibration doesn't diminish their universal right to free will. So Archangel Michael says, that's why he can't just go in and do, the things that we might like to happen to specific organizations, institutions, etc. And so this practice, he's saying, remember, whatever you're seeing outside of you is a reflection within you. And it's hard, right? It's really hard. Like when I was sat there yesterday watching the news, right? And I'm seeing this horrible fear like propagated against so many people, and all like everyone's eyes are wide open in the restaurant, like watching this big, huge TV with all this misery. And I just remember sitting there thinking, I bring these messages and these traumas for humanity, nothing but love. I bring love to this, just like that exercise of diving deep into our hearts. So if you want to take the biggest action you can do, Carol, and for all of us, not just Carol, right? It's when we're seeing what's happening outside of us to look deep within us. Because remember, that troll, right, outside of us is not really outside of us, it's inside of us. In a world where we were all happy with facing our fears, we didn't feel in lack, we didn't feel fearful or anything like the levels of fear we feel at the moment. All those actions, even the actions you see right now today of these world leaders, would be meaningless. Nothing would really happen. They'd be asking armies to do things and they just refuse, say, no, it's not, my free will says no, I'm not going to do that. I don't need to do that. I love those other people. I'm not going to, do bad things to them. Right. And so on. And so this whole world transforms within, and it is an illusion that others, especially world leaders, that they control, or elites control the world. They don't. They do not control the world. All they control at best is a program for decades and thousands of years, this dark matrix of fear programming into our bodies. Be scared of this, be scared of that, be scared of everything. That's all they control. They don't really control us. And so we always get to choose love. And Archangel Michael wanted to share one more thing, and I was interested whether he would share this publicly through me. Is Archangel Michael we're all unique in the universe. His one of his superpowers is that he exists between, so this is high vibration, right? So like angelic 12th dimensional being. He exists here, and there's a mirror of him, and everything in between, his whole frequency range exists. He says, I'm just asking how deep. And he says, at least, and he says this in a happy day, at least to minus 12 in hell. So you can imagine plus 12 is 12 dimensions above our current vibration, and then 12 dimensions beneath us. And there's about, for my client sessions that I do in soul retrievals and exorcisms, I know that hell bottoms out at about minus 99, level minus 99. And he says that his whole existence, Archangel Michael is a bridge himself, right? He exists across that whole frequency range. And that's how, if you think about it, the battle of light and dark is not an outside battle. It's one within every single one of us. And he says for that darkest aspect of him, he has to continually send it love, to feed it love. And he said that's also why it can't go much lower than 12 to minus 12, is because the shadow aspect of him can't exist that low, because there's always some love in him. And every time he loves him, that version of him, the lowest aspects of him, it rises up more. They're not separate. It's all one Archangel Michael. And he says, this may be news, it may be shocking news to some of you, but please be aware that this is the whole Archangel Michael. It's all of him, that whole frequency range. And he says, this is so important because this is what humanity is. Humanity is also a very, very broad frequency range. And we're very blessed to have Mother Gaia, who's supporting such a broad frequency range, from me, because I'm so perfect, and people that are. Oh, God. And people and beings on Earth that are so much higher vibration than me and are more perfect than me. We're all perfectly imperfect. And, we're all a contrast to each other, but we're really all the horrible things that we experience going on outside of the world are a reflection of something within us, right? And I know that's, for some of it's a really hard kind of bitter pill to swallow. It's like, really? Am I really capable of those things that I can see in our histories and our present and are fearful in the future? And the short answer is, if it's in humanity, yes, right? That's my opinion. It's up to you to feel into that yourself and feel into, as Mother Gaia said, we're all part of the same family. We're all part of the same DNA structures and frequency ranges. And then within those, we just get to choose, right? I don't choose to be in those low vibrations, although I know that my body, if you pushed me and terrible things happened in my life, then maybe I would be in like those low vibrations. Maybe I would be unable to cope and I would do horrible things. I don't know, but I don't choose that right now. I choose love. I choose happiness. I choose joy. Okay. Well, it's a long video today. Thank you so much for watching. If you've watched all the way to the end, since it's an hour and, there's a 7 in there, an hour and 17 minutes just passing now. Thank you so much for engaging. Please let me know. And perhaps you'd like to leave a message in the comments, which is that all of the fear I perceive outside of me in the world is a reflection of the fear within me. Okay. And I'd like to bring our session to an end, thanking our guides, our higher selves, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source, and Gaia, and every soul that's participated in today's session. And please remain in your individual protective bubbles as you leave this shared session space, and I close the shared space down to return to Source or never return here again. Please do get plenty of rest, drink as much water as it feels right. Click on some of these links. There are amazing videos in the playlists up here. A link to my website and booking a one-to-one session with me, or subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep coming back every day, regardless of whether you get a notification from YouTube. Guarantee you, no matter what happens in my life, I'm always posting to YouTube every single day. All right. Take care, everyone. Sending so much love from Scotland. I love you.